How's it going, everyone? I'm here with my Ultimate Warrior, the Ultimate Collection DVD review. This DVD came out just a little under a few weeks ago. I was able to finally watch it this past week. I was on spring break, so I was finally able to watch this DVD, and now I'm here to give you guys my thoughts and pretty much overall opinion on this DVD, and let's stop wasting any time and jump right into the video now, shall we? Let me just take the camera right here. Let me bring the DVD over here. Alright, here is the DVD cover. It says Ultimate Warrior, the Ultimate Collection. You have a nice, sick picture of the Warrior right there. Great cover, in my opinion. Looks really good. 3-disc set, of course, this is the DVD version of it. Really nice looking DVD, if you ask me. The spine right here, the picture of the Warrior again. Ultimate Warrior, the Ultimate Collection. Nice, really nice side spine right here. It really stands out when you put it in your DVD. So, like, if you're looking for it, it won't be hard to find by any means, considering how colorful this box is. Here is a picture of the Warrior with, ropes with Intercontinental title. Over 25 matches, interviews, and vignettes. Warrior, the Ultimate Collection, 3-disc set. There's a little scan price thingy right there. Of course, here is the little description. Warriors, experience the history of that which can no longer be contained. Prepare yourselves, for you are about to be consumed by a power that makes the skies rumble and the earth shake. In this Ultimate Collection, the power of the Warrior is alive like never before. Descend into parts unknown, load the spaceship with the rocket fuel, and unleash this 3-disc set. But beware, the action is truly out of control. And here's this includes here's some of the matches right here. Just 4 matches right there listed. Plus, Ultimate Warrior discusses his career with WWE Home Video Entertainment, or WWE Home Entertainment for the first time ever. Sorry, I'm a little excited to review this DVD, as you can tell. Inside, this art is great as well. You have a picture of the Warrior right there with the Intercontinental Championship. Of course, right here, you have the Ultimate Warrior's favorite quote. It is, "You must show no mercy, nor have any belief whatsoever in how others judge you, for greatness will silence them all." Great quote right there. Always believe. Speaking of always believe on my arm right there. I'm actually thinking about getting that tattooed, no joke. And you go to the inside, you have a picture of the Warrior right there, another great picture of them with the WWE Championship. You have the disc right here. These discs are awesome, but if you look at it for a long time, it starts to hurt your eyes, and it's like, whoa. It's like one of those things where you think it's moving, but it's really not. I don't know if you get that effect watching the video, but when you have the DVD in person, you definitely get that effect. But yeah, there's a disc and everything, and yeah, my overall thoughts on this DVD. Hold on, let me get acquainted right here. Let me put this thing on the camera back, if it'll go. Come on, camera. There we go. There we go. All right, just let me get acquainted right here real quick. Well, I'm gonna go over the disc anyways in a minute, so I don't think it really matters where the DVD is positioned. But this overall set, I thought, was great. I thought this was a very entertaining set. I was not bored, nor did I get sick of it whatsoever. It's just over 6 hours. Disc 1 is actually 2 hours and 10 minutes. Disc 2 is 1 hour and 50 minutes, and Disc 3 is 3 hours. So it's just, just about 6 hours altogether. And I really liked the way it was formatted. There were interviews between the matches, but it didn't seem like an interview. It actually seemed like a legit documentary, just cut into pieces. Like, when he's talking, they show pictures and footage like they would in a documentary. So the way it was formatted, it was very well done. If WWE does more formatted DVDs like this with the match compilation with the interviews between them, I'll actually like them a lot more, because I'm not a fan with the matches and interviews between them by any means. I never really liked them. But this was an exception. This was really, really well done, and I really enjoyed this DVD. You can definitely tell WWE actually really tried to put a lot of effort into making this one, good. They tried to make this one right, and I believe they did. They made this one really good, and kudos for WWE. Hopefully they can put a lot more DVDs like this. The content on here is absolutely great. Not every match is great on here, but the amount of content, you don't just get matches. Like, usually with DVDs, you just get matches, but this one is a mixture of matches, vignettes, promos, interviews. It's a mixture of almost a lot of things, and that's what I really like about this DVD in particular, is that alone. So this DVD gets a 2 thumbs up, not just 1, but 2 thumbs up. Great DVD here by WWE. I'll definitely say the best DVD WWE has done so far this year. But let's go over disc 1 first of all. Let me just zoom in on disc 1 right there. Let me take it out. There's disc 1 right there with the picture of the Warrior right there. all the matches will be in the description, so if you want to look at the matches, then you can look below. But if you want the full match listing, guys, just go to WrestlingDVDnews.com. They have the full match listing and the full DVD set listing, because I don't feel like, taking the camera off and going over each, discs listing when you can just look it up, guys. Sorry, but you guys got to do that on your own. But this one, like I said, it was only 2 hours and 20 minutes, not 20 minutes, 10 minutes. But you got a lot of interview time with the Warrior. Like with the interviews, you didn't get like, a little minute or two interviews. You got legit 3 to 5 minute, interview time between them. And like I said, it was like a documentary style thing as well. So that was what really entertained me about this. With the interview, let's talk about the matches first. The matches weren't the greatest. Majority of these matches are like squash matches, so they're very, very short. I think there's honestly, I think there's like 14 or 15 matches on disc 1. There's a lot of matches, but they're real quick and short and simple. I'll point the matches that stand out. The matches that stand out that are really good on this set, I believe, were him and Savage. Obviously, was really good. Him and Rick Rude was really good, and I think those are the only 2 matches that really stand out. I think him and Honky Tonk Man. I think that was from the rematch was pretty good. Not the SummerSlam match, but the rematch was. I think that was a good match as well. But yeah, those are probably the only matches that stand out on disc 1. Everything else is just like whatever, nothing special at all. But in the interviews, he talks, how he was a bodybuilder. He was trained to be a bodybuilder. That transitioned to the wrestling. The guy that he was staying with in California. Sorry, that was my phone back there. Talked to him about getting into the wrestling. And sorry, it's my phone again. And he broke into the wrestling business with Sting. And he talked about how the Blade Runners are basically, not rivaling off of, but like they're trying to compete against the Road Warriors, as like a tag team. That's why they experimented with face paint and mascara and whatnot. That's why they always look so weird. And, in the interview, he talked about how he left Sting, because him and Sting were 2 different people. Sting like being told what to do, Warrior like doing his own thing. So that's why Warrior basically walked out on Sting, like, you know what, you can do your own thing. He talked about how he became a Dingo Warrior, when he went down to, I forgot where he went down to. I don't think it was WCCW yet. It might have been WCCW. I'm not sure yet. Hold on. Was it WCCW? Yeah, it was WCC. Wait. Yeah, it was WCCW. And he went down there, and, he looked like a warrior, so they called him Warrior. And I forgot if it was either, like, the guy's cat or dog. But someone's cat or dog, his name was Dingo. So like, oh, Dingo Warrior, there you go. And that's how he became the Dingo Warrior. He talked about how WWE called him and, called him into the business, how he worked a live event, I think it was overseas. I think it might have been Thailand. I'm not 100% sure, but he worked overseas a show, and then eventually they called him into the TV, and they, pretty much hired him. And how, the Warrior got popular really, really quickly, and, how he watched other guys and learned from them, and actually how when he wrestled Harley Race, he actually suffered a staph infection and really injured his leg, and he would address in his own not his own locker room, but he'd dress separately else, because he didn't want anyone knowing about his injury, because he's a new guy, he's getting this decent push, so he didn't want anything to potentially ruin that, so he always hid it, but eventually he got caught. And that was around the time where wrestling was transitioning into wrestling into the entertainment aspect. So that's cool about that. He talked about how he upgraded his character and studied his opponents, to like, he was becoming the Ultimate Warrior. That's why he changed his name to Warrior, because he was legitimately becoming Warrior, the character. By the way, he says character a lot in this DVD, by the way. That's how much he, really talks about the character. He talks about it, and he talks about how he loved working gimmick matches. He thought the gimmick match with Bobby the Brain Heenan was great, the Weasel match. He really praised Bobby Heenan, too, by the way. He talked about how, he could work with him, and it was pretty much magical, and how he was a great manager, which it was kind of sad to see him praise him, because if you watch Self-Destruction, the Ultimate Warrior DVD, Bobby the Brain Heenan just buries him. So it was kind of like, oh, it kind of sucked to see Warrior praise him, but, deep down, Heenan just buried him in the downside. But, Warrior had a very positive attitude at this DVD, which was another positive thing. And he talked about how he beat the Honky Tonk Man for the Intercontinental Championship, how it was a huge, huge deal at the time, because, Honky Tonk Man was the Intercontinental Champion for like a year and a half at that point. And, he just came in and beat him in like 30 seconds. That was a huge deal. And, he talked about losing the Intercontinental Championship to Rick Rude, which, he didn't mind, because, he was told to get the title back anyway, so he really didn't mind losing the title to Rick Rude at all. and they worked great matches, by the way. He actually praised jobbers, people. He praised jobbers. He talked about how they'd bring people in for TV just to lose, and he had the utmost respect for jobbers because, you know, they pretty much did anything that they could to get on TV, and the fact that they would job to someone in like a minute, you know, shows a lot about a person because, you know, a lot of people aren't willing. You know, if someone came up to you and said, you're going to job this person in a minute, you're probably not going to like it. So the fact that people did that, he respected them, and, you know, the way he pinned people, how you put like his knees on their shoulders and not really hook the leg and just like lay on them. Or not really leg on them, just, you know, kind of like stand on them. He said, you know, people consider it disrespectful, but he did it for the Warrior character. That was the character doing it, not just him. He wasn't doing that as a sign of disrespect. It was just part of the character and why he did that. And he talked about working with Andre and how Andre, you know, helped him, and he loved working with Andre. He thought they had pretty good chemistry. And yeah, that was pretty much for disc 1. So you got a lot of interview time on disc 1. That's probably the most of the interview you'd get is on disc 1, but it was a lot of information observed in that disc. So let's move on to disc 2 now. Disc 2, very, very short. You can see right there, like, there's not a lot on disc 2 at all. So it was a very short disc, only a few matches. The matches were good. You know, you have Hogan and Warrior on that disc, so you have a lot of good stuff on disc 2. The match quality wise, I'd probably say this is the best disc, but it was very, very short. Disc 2, he didn't get a lot of information with the interview wise. He just talked about WrestleMania 6, how he was called into the office with Vince, and Vince pretty much explained to him that, you know, at WrestleMania he's gonna be working with Hogan, and you know, that was a big deal because he was only 30 years old at the time, and he was only in the company for a couple of years, so that was a very big deal for him to be working with Hogan at WrestleMania in the biggest match. And, you know, he talked about the pre-WrestleMania 6 stuff where they do pre-tape interviews. They went over the match, of course. Well, they didn't go over the match that much. He just says, you know, they really didn't go over that much. They just kind of like, it was kind of like, you know, a match just happened. You know, they didn't really go over it that well. You know, they talked about how the contract signing at the office, they did, you know, the promos, pretty much everything leading up to it because they're such huge names. You know, they're both fan favorites. You know, Warrior was the huge name, the upcoming guy, and Hogan was, you know, Hogan. You know, so it was two huge names colliding into the main event of WrestleMania. It was such a huge deal. And how after that he had, you know, responsibilities of being the champion. He was now the locker room leader. You know, he talked about how Vince trusted him. That's why he became champion, because Vince trusted him to do the outside stuff and just to lead the company in a new direction. So that's pretty much it for disc 2. Like I said, you don't get a lot of information with the interview wise, but match quality is probably the best one in my opinion. Okay, that's disc 2, and then you move on to the third and final disc. Right here, you have a nice picture of the Warrior in blue right there. This is probably my favorite disc. Like I said, it's the longest disc. You have a lot of content on this disc. You have a lot of promos. You have a lot of matches. Well, I think you only have 6 matches, but you have a lot of promos. So you definitely have a lot of content on this disc. In the interviews, he talks about how he lost the title. You know, Vince told him that he's going to lose the title to Slaughter, and that he was going to face Macho Man in a retirement match at WrestleMania 7. And he loved the idea of it. You know, he didn't mind losing the title to Slaughter, and he loved you know, working with Savage at WrestleMania 7. And he talked about, you know, at WrestleMania 7, how him and Savage went over the match, and they just had amazing chemistry. Those two just clicked so well together. They put on a phenomenal match at WrestleMania 7, one of my all-time favorite matches of all time. But yeah, he talked about WrestleMania 7. He talked about working with The Undertaker, how The Undertaker was, you know, how his character was so mystique and, you know, strange, and Warrior was, you know, their characters are just strange characters and how well they mashed. He talked about how, you know, Undertaker actually, I think Undertaker apologized for getting over with the crowd when, you know, Warrior's supposed to be getting over, but, you know, they're trying, you know, the crowd's, like, getting on Taker's side. And he told Taker, like, no, big deal, dude. I love that you're getting over, because, you know, that's what you're supposed to do, is get over. The character, the fact that you're getting over even though you're the bad guy, that's a huge plus. By the way, with the Taker stuff, when you're, if you have yet to watch this DVD and you're not over the, you know, the Warrior's passing, I wouldn't really recommend watching this disc until you're well over his passing, because the segments they have on here with the Warrior, with Paul Bearer and the Undertaker, considering it's death stuff, you know, if you're not over it, let's just say Warrior gets put in a casket, and Paul Bearer says, "Rest in peace, Ultimate Warrior," a lot. So if you're not over the passing of them, I'd recommend you not watching this disc anytime soon, or at least the Taker stuff on this disc. But yeah, you know, he talked about facing the Undertaker. You know, very brief stuff. The stuff they did, like the casket thing on here, is great stuff. So that was great to listen to. He talks about how he left in '91. You know, to go do other things, and he came back in '92 at WrestleMania 8. You know, saving Hogan and how, you know, he was pretty much told that, you know, when he came back that he was going to get another title shot, he was going to run with the championship again. But you know, he never did. At SummerSlam '92, it was supposed to be him and Savage for the title, which ended in a no contest. That's when pretty much the Ultimate Maniacs formed. You know, they said, you know, when they pitched the idea for that match in Wembley Stadium, you know, Warrior said, "What else could we do? You know, we already did the retirement match. What else? What story could we tell with, you know, me and Savage?" And the story was, you know, two guys going at it, and at the end, they ultimately became, you know, friends together. You know, eventually aligning with each other. You know, when they got attacked after the match, and they aligned each other, and they pretty much hugged each other and carried each other to the back, and became a team from then on. And you know, he talks about leaving that '92 again, how it's supposed to be him and Savage versus Flair and Razor Ramon at Survivor Series '92, but he left right before the match, and you know, perfect how to replace him. And you know, he talked about how he left because he wanted, you know, pretty much go do other things and just wasn't working out. And he talked about, you know, doing his own projects. You know, when he left, you know, talking about like how he opened his own gym, how he became an owner of a gym. Talking about, you know, making his own comic book. So he wanted the Ultimate Warrior character to live without wrestling, basically. And that's what he was trying to accomplish the 4 years he was gone. And, you know, pretty much reinventing the Warrior character. That's what he was trying to do when he left. And he talked about coming back in '96, how, you know, it was a very, very short run. And, you know, that Vince wanted to do, you know, the whole WrestleMania 12 match with, you know, Triple H. That was a squash match. And basically, you know, he didn't really go over it. It's kind of just like, you know, Breeze thing, and how it ended. He basically just wanted to go out and do other things again. And what else did he talk about? Let me see here. So I have notes right here, so I'm going over the notes. Then he talks about going to WCW, how Hogan, you know, would call him and talk about, you know, coming over, and he really wasn't interested. And you know, eventually they offered him a lot of money, and he cut a really good deal with him. So he you know, he went there. And he talks about how, you know, he regretted going to WCW. You know, the management was very, very horrible there. They talk about how basically no one knew what the hell was going on. No one was making the huge decisions. It was pretty much like a toss-up in the air. No one knew what was happening. So Warrior pretty much hated there. He even said, like, you know, one of the things he hated about WCW was there was no Vince, like, basically tell him what to do or, you know, how things were going. So it pretty much sucked. And he even said, like, he regrets going there to this day. He talks about how he would never even gone there. Even if they offered him all the money in the world, he wouldn't have gone there. He regrets it to this day. And that's pretty much it. And then the ending comes with very, very sad ending, by the way. He talks about how the full story is yet to come. That this DVD was a DVD just, you know, to satisfy our taste buds. Just to get our Warrior fix for the moment. Just for the moment that, you know, there was more to come. Which is saddening because it's like, you know, he really hyped up another DVD. He hyped up a sequel to this DVD a lot at the end. And it's kind of like, well, I honestly do think we'll get another Warrior DVD, but it's like, we're not going to get, you know, any new footage. I mean, they have tons of footage of him from WrestleMania weekend, and they have, you know, obviously they have interview footage that they didn't use, but it's like, you know, you can't get, you know, anything new from Warrior now, considering he passed on, unfortunately. But great DVD, like I said, definitely DVD of the year so far. Like, you know, yeah, great DVD. You know, the match listing. The content may not be the best. Like I said, Disc 1, you pretty much just fly through the matches. You know, Disc 2 and Disc 3 are where the solid matches come from. But, like, that's just matches. You have a bunch of interviews on here. They pretty much cover his entire career, which is something I really like about this DVD. They pretty much just went over everything. I don't think there is a detail that was really missed. Very, very enjoyable. And highly recommend getting this DVD, guys. Very, very fun DVD. Very, very enjoyable. So, you guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. And, until next time, guys, I will see you whenever. But yeah, definitely go out and get this DVD if you haven't yet. And until next time, guys, later.